we saw two girls, actually one carried the other one on her shoulder. I'm like, oh my God. Hidden champion.
Hidden champion.
This is no advertisement.
I don't know if that meat is fresh, but it tastes good. Eddie is never the better one at golf.
Eddie Waters certainly not. Which Eddie are we talking about? We played against them, right?
Easy.
Yeah, we kicked their ass, but that's assuming that it has clicked already, right?
The holy grail that everybody wants, the rose gold rainbow Daytona.
After that, it's definitely clicked. You have that thing.
In comparison to the athlete, again, it's wins, right? Like closing a deal, $500,000 investment, probably a $10 million house. To us, it's like one more done.
I can't say cut Super Bowl. I could probably just take the next plane to Germany if I say that. Listen, I'll be shoeless, but I got the best watch and the best car.
The chicken and the egg, right? What do you find first? The deal or the money?
The way we started is we started with our own money. If we blew through that money, we're pretty much done.
You see cutting the leg day every day. So
good luck.
You know what it takes to sell real estate?
The art of putting the deal together.
I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this because this is my calling. I believe in it. I love it.
Try to master your craft and don't give up.
even if the money's not coming in, just trust the process.
Because you're only as good as your team. I learned that the hard way.
Half of it is talent. The other half of it is what your people skills are.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today we have the home team lined up, including our producer Alan. And thank you for tuning into this episode. Today we'll be giving a couple of updates on our end, answering some questions, and talking about our opinion on the latest news.
And then, as always, before we start, make sure to subscribe. A lot of people watch the video but don't subscribe, so make sure to subscribe. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, everywhere you know where to find us. That'll make Alan happy.
You can leave a review too if you actually like it. That would be good.
5-star only.
5-star only. All right, Alan, let's fire away.
Yeah, so it's been a while. So last time we had a podcast was with Eddie. So it's been a while since we've had a little update in your life. How was the holidays? And then we'll kind of go into emo. That was a big thing to start off the year. So how was the holiday? How was Christmas? How was New Year's? Kind of. Then how was emo 2024?
Yeah, the holidays were pretty quiet. I think we took 1, maybe 2 days off max. We had family in town, and other than that, we worked all the way through the holidays, which was very productive because, you know, the real estate market by default slows a little bit down during that time, but that gives you more time to actually work on the business instead of in the business, which, you know, sometimes is a good idea too. Yeah. Remember we talked about that. So, yeah, that was good.
We had a good meeting, good kickoff meeting. You know, like that's the time where you plan the next year. So I think the holidays were great. Like Max said, family, friends, small circle, and then right back to work.
And just talk about emo 2024, emo Congress 2024.
That was pretty cool. We actually have, I think this week we have a follow-up call with the host Max Wolf. And Max, if you see this, thank you so much again for having us. The event was amazing. They had a full house, super solid lineup of the best speakers and pretty much the who's who from the real estate world out of Germany as well as from abroad. You know, our friend Daniel Garofli from Dubai was there. Then Marcel from Spain, Mallorca was there. It was just a really cool experience for us.
Was there anything that you took away or anything you learned from emo, or some cool people you met or interacted with apart from like the main speakers?
I think it was just interesting it was our first like bigger speaking engagement. We're like on a bigger stage. So I think we kind of like we're overthinking it, and like, you know, you have respect for it. And then once we did it, we're like, hey, we talk about this all day, every day for 7 years now. Like how can that be? Yeah. And it was actually in German, so that's a lot easier for us too than English. So we're like
technically easier and not easier because we talk mostly in English,
about
right?
Business. But it was.
But you talk business in German.
Yeah, it's kind of a mix. So yeah, on stage there was certainly one or two things where we're like, what's the German word for? And we're like, somebody had to help us for a second. But I think it was good and it was fun. And what we took away is that we want to do it more often. And like Max said, we have a follow-up call for IMO 2025. So we'll be back there, and then we have another big event, a huge one with over 15,000 people.
Yeah, they're targeting 12,000 plus people. That's in July. Cash flow conference, pretty cool too, with diverse speakers, different stages, not only real estate, financing, crypto, and a bunch of other things. So it's kind of.
Now we're excited, not worried.
So you guys are locked in for next year, or you're
For
about to be?
this summer, so it'll be
Oh,
this
for
this,
the cash flow.
July. It's the cash flow, and then October is going to be the IMO 2025.
Oh wow. And then I guess that then the year went on and waste management open. You guys were there, right? Well, it was a shit show to say the least on the internet. I wasn't there, but you guys were there talking about what you saw, the crazy people, drunk people.
I mean, we had a good time, and we were there every single day except a Sunday.
Yeah.
But I think overall, especially Wednesday and Thursday, it was obviously very cold, but we had a good time. We were there with business partners and friends.
Yeah.
We worked before and after, so it wasn't a lights out situation. Friday was different, but Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday was just very laid back. And yeah, there was a lot of craziness going out there. But for us, I think overall it was good, and it's a good place to meet a bunch of people, just hang out, talk for a bit. So it was good.
What about you, Patrick? What was...
Same thing. I mean, there's always a lot of business. Like Max said, even like Thursday was freezing cold and rainy, and at that point it's more business. You go because you're invited by a business partner, somebody in the industry. There's going to be a lot of other people in the same industry that you kind of want to see and catch up. So it's a little bit of a seen and be seen on the business side too. And then like Max said, Friday was our casual day. Still was business partners, but that's where we had a drink or two or three.
or two, or three. You can put your mic a little closer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what I saw online is like, Phoenix Open was a year that the internet. There was so many memes and so many videos of just people rolling the mud. I'm like,
I mean, luckily you don't we didn't see much. Like we
In the
go
box?
straight. Yeah, you kind of see it, but not really. I think it's a little bit of a different atmosphere where we go. But again, it's a good time. And
On Saturday we were at 17, and there's to the right side of the green. It's a short par 4. There was a little bit of a down slope, and that was very muddy, and it seemed like everybody was just cheering on and encouraging the people to actually run down this thing.
oh wow.
And we caught a couple of good moments. Like golf was literally secondary. It was just there were some wagers on who's gonna fall, if this guy in the green shirt walking down is gonna make it. Then we saw two girls. Actually, one carried the other one on her shoulder. I'm like, oh my god. In like boots, it was just but they actually made it. They didn't slip.
professionals.
Wow. That's crazy. I mean, and then the weekend rolled on. It was the Super Bowl. I mean, I know.
Yeah,
Max,
I have no clue.
yeah,
about
no football, but you watched it, right?
I actually did.
You watched it. I mean, what did you think? I'll get Patrick's thoughts after because he follows football more. But
I mean,
was
I
a
enjoyed the
casual-
company. We were with good friends. Friend and fellow, very very successful real estate colleague invited us over to his house, which was just walking distance from our house, so very convenient too. Met a bunch of friends and business partners there. That was the nice part about it. I actually made an effort to actually watch it. I think, I think it was fine. It's just still way too slow. This whole thing, just like stop and go. It's just not my. Just like, but I understand it a little bit better now.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of know the big names now, like Kelsey
Yeah.
and Mahomes.
Yeah, and obviously
Okay.
you saw the pick. I mean, I didn't get the score right, but obviously knew that that they were gonna win.
Chiefs were gonna win. Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
predicted it. And then Patrick, you're a football guy, so
Yeah, I mean, like Max, I got the pick right. I figured it's going to be somewhat of a close game because you have good offenses, good defenses. So it was kind of like I didn't think it was going to be a high scoring game, but they're going
hopefully, I mean, he's halfway there from Brady. So
That's what I'm saying. He's 28, so and he's he does the right things under pressure. So
I mean, what did you guys think about the halftime show?
it was okay. That's where I wasn't like watching as much because I had Valerie and
checked out.
Leo with me, so I took the
Break.
babysitter duty over for the halftime show and just walking around with my son. So I kind of like saw a little bit.
Yeah.
Love Usher, but I'd rather watch the game, and then I hung out with my son during the halftime show.
I mean, it was a big Super Bowl. It was the most watched game ever on TV, like well, at least in the US, at least at that.
Other than the moon landing.
Oh yeah, apart from the moon landing. Yeah. Hey,
I-
so you keep
I
up.
know. Listen, I know my facts.
You keep up from the stuff.
Stats guy.
You're a big football guy now. I mean, speaking of football, I don't know if you guys want to share this, but you guys were telling me that you were golfing the Arizona Cardinals coach recently. Did I go down?
It hasn't happened yet,
Hasn't
but
happened yet. Oh.
it'll happen in the off season now.
Okay.
Great guy. I mean, we met him a bunch of times now. Just a good guy, like someone you want to hang out with. Just good time, always in the best mood. So yeah, looking forward to
Oh, dang,
getting some golfing
that
with him.
already took place. I thought. I was
No,
get
our
a good
schedules,
story.
like to try to get a bunch of people on the same schedule. I mean, obviously, unfortunately, the Cardinals have a lot of off time right now. Had a lot of off time already. But yeah, no, good guy. We'll hit the links at some point.
Yeah, I guess staying on the sports angle of it, you guys have been going to the Suns games. It's kind of been a tipsy-turvy season, but looks like things are turning around. What do you guys? Are we going to win it this year? Are we close? You guys are courtside. You guys are there at the games, and what's going to happen?
I mean, the just gotta make it to the playoffs, and then I think it's pretty much a reset, anyways. Because I mean, it seems like the performance under pressure, under real pressure, and when it counts, is gonna be different. It's just gonna be completely different. I think everyone's just gonna step it up a notch, but not only on the Sun side, but everybody else too. So, so I guess the first few games they were pretty frustrating, I find. But then I was at the game against the latest game that I was against the Bulls, and that game was probably one of the best games I've ever watched and been at the stadium at. As insane.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely insane.
Was it a close game? I don't. Was it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like 2 seconds
Oh, yeah.
to
Oh,
go.
it was
Yeah.
super
was
close.
it a D-book? No. That
No, it was, but it was one of those like very close. They call a foul on KD, I think, last
Yeah.
second or something. It was like they won by 1 or 2.
Yeah.
It's good.
Biggest thing is we just got to stay healthy. That's Beal. It's been injured a lot. KD. See, but D-book is like that one stronghold that stays healthy for the most part. But
Yeah.
coach is pretty good, I guess. Yeah, coach is solid. But
Solid.
West, I mean, I'm a LeBron fan, so we'll see how it goes between Suns and Lakers. But
I think that's a good example of how fast it can change. Right, last year, like the Lakers barely got in, and then once they got to the playoffs, it kind of the whole momentum
true.
changed. And,
Yeah.
and so there's a bunch of teams that have, a lot of good players. Like even the Warriors, right? Like they struggle so much, but I mean, if they all get it going at the right time, the three of them can never count them out. So I think, like Max said, it'll be a reset once you get to the playoffs. Be nice to qualify right away and not go through the playing tournament.
I have it in here, but I guess we can get to it now. It's like there was a rumor today that the Warriors were trying to get LeBron to the Warriors with Steph. That would have been crazy. I feel like that would have been a tough matchup for any team. I feel like LeBron, Steph. Whew.
Yeah, I mean, of course, but then I mean, you see, I mean, there's so many teams where they have like two really good players. Like we Suns are a perfect example, right? You have the big three, and still lost half the games the first few. You still need a good bench. You still like got to perform. So I mean, yeah, I'm not a LeBron guy, but I mean he's good, so I got to respect him. But as
he
long
needs
as he
to get
doesn't.
one more championship before he retires. Just
No,
five.
no, he's good. He can,
Five.
he can
Number five is
retire.
good, and then he can retire.
He can retire
He
now.
can play with his son, do whatever he wants for one more championship. But I mean, I guess Max, kind of getting to what you kind of like, tennis. There's a big match coming up between Nadal and Alcaraz on Netflix, live on Netflix. Coming
Yeah,
up
I was
next
actually
month.
thinking of going, but we just
where's it at?
it's in Vegas.
Oh,
Yeah, but we have fortunately too much going on, and right now for us is crunch time the next few weeks, so I'm gonna sit that one out. But sooner than later, I'll definitely go watch a match. I was thinking maybe Wimbledon, because that's obviously in Europe, so we'll see. That's
or
gonna
the,
be
or the U.S. Open, because that's
U.S.
New
Open
York
too.
area.
Um,
But who do you have in this matchup?
oh, Alcaraz, obviously.
Really?
Gotta kick the old man's ass. The lefty.
He's a young phenom's gonna beat the vet.
I mean, I'm not gonna say the game is set up, but I mean it's. I'm just curious to see what's gonna happen. Technically, if you look at playing abilities and Nadal being injured lately, Alcaraz is definitely in his prime. But I mean, you can never count a guy like Nadal out. So I'm looking forward to watching it.
I mean, it should be a crazy experience because it's on Netflix. There's not too many live things on Netflix. So
Yeah,
it should be a different look experience.
Yeah, I'm sure maybe in the future there's gonna be more live stuff on those streaming channels.
Yeah.
I can see that being a big
And
opportunity.
eventually, it's gonna be like NBA. Everything's gonna be on Netflix, HBO Max.
I mean, YouTube is the example, right? Like YouTube TV, like
Oh yeah,
they already have
the
pretty much everything.
yeah.
So it just makes sense for Netflix and everybody else to follow.
Yeah. I guess let's get to some reaction. There's some. No, actually, before that, let's get to. I don't know if you guys both got dogs, but one of you guys got dogs. I know that. I know Max. has
We
been-
both have dogs.
That's a recent update that we didn't talk about.
Yeah. It's,
You guys both have dogs now. Why do you
yeah,
have
I
dogs?
mean,
is it for Leo? Is it?
yeah, it was, yeah. Leo loves animals, loves dogs. So he always wanted a dog.
Yeah.
I said no for the longest time. And then at some point I said, all
Just
right,
gave in.
I gave up. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So
Hey, what kind of dog is it?
golden doodle. So, but yeah, it's a lot of dog.
So we have the same dog, but it's she's 2, a different story.
Oh, so you have a puppy.
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
a
Oh,
whole
so
Tez.
that's a
different-
completely different story.
Oh yeah, mine's 12 weeks
Damn.
old.
So you're just, that dog is pissing everywhere.
Oh, shitting, pissing, everything. Chewing, scratching. Yeah, it's fun.
Dang. So Max got not the lucky we have, but got a more of a vet dog,
Yeah,
more mature.
I mean, I like dogs, and
Yeah.
but yeah, they just like. I mean, ours, Freddie, is just hyperactive. So just like
Wait, do you guys have a dog when you grew up in Germany?
no, my grandma had a dog. That's the only dog I ever had kind of around me. So that's why I was like, I'm not a like I like dogs, but I was never gonna get one. So
It's a lot of
I
work.
grew up with a dog, so I'm definitely a dog person. But I also like my stuff nice and clean. So the fact that this breed doesn't shed is amazing. Other dogs, as cute as they might seem, but I mean, if there's hair everywhere, I would just go absolutely insane.
I mean, yep. Some people
Like
I mean,
huskies, for example. Like I was at
German shepherds, they shed a lot.
I was at the chiropractor this morning. Our chiropractor, he has a kind of a husky mix
Yeah.
bow, and I mean, you literally leave there and you just touch the dog for like a few seconds, and you have white hair everywhere. So, not gonna happen.
I mean, same thing with cats. People that are cats and cats are the same thing. They shed too. So.
Cats suck.
kids, hard known cats.
Hard no.
Hard no.
Cats.
Absolutely useless.
I guess some big news came out recently. Tiger Woods and his new Sunday Red.
Yeah.
What do you guys? A tailor-made
Sick.
collaboration.
Super
leaves
sick.
Nike,
Yeah.
and people think like, what is he gonna do? New. I mean, the logo is sick. I like the logo of it, honestly. It's like I don't know if you guys heard. It's like the number of majors he's won, 15. So it's like
Oh, it's got 50
stripes.
stripes.
So if he wins one more, he has to
Update the logo.
update the logo one more time. But it does look sick. What do you guys think of this?
I think it's super sick. Not surprising. Obviously, the guy's always up to something, and this is not really about the money anymore. He turned down a lot of money to go to play on Live. I think this is just super cool. I haven't purchased anything yet, but you can rest assured once I get going on that, I'll get a few things.
Yeah, I mean, only thing it'll wait like 2 months before it comes out. It's like in April or it comes out, but it's a good tease though. Sunday Red. But I mean, speaking of Live, I mean, you guys are into the golf scene, but like, there's a big thing going on with Live and PGA. What do you guys like? They're trying to combine PGA and Live once people went over to Live. What do you guys? Is it gonna combine again, or is it gonna become one?
I think at some point it's going to have to almost. It's just, I mean, in any other sports you go where you get paid the most, right? Like nobody's gonna, I mean.
Yeah, because one of the guys from here, Arizona, John
Rahm,
yeah, he got
600
know
million,
how- yeah.
600 million, yeah. I think it's they're just throwing so much money at it, but then again, I mean, look at baseball. I'm not a baseball guy, but that guy got what, 700 million. I think the Dodgers spent
Ohtani?
1.2 billion this offseason.
Yeah.
So it's just, in any other sports, it's common that you go where you get paid. I mean, in any other industry for that matter, right? Like if you get paid 10 times more than at your current job, everybody else would do it.
Yeah.
However, in this case, everybody's saying, oh, why are they're all after the money? Which, I mean, that's what 95% of people are. Like that's why people get offers to move to a different company with a better pay or more incentives. Totally normal.
Is it that you can't really find where you can watch Live on TV? It's like hard to find.
So they started. There's a channel now, CW or
Yeah.
something. So they started showing it on there. It's actually, if you want to watch it, I mean, people. And again, I think there's a lot of people that they're like the fanboys, PGA fanboys. So they try to like make it sound like it's impossible. Like if you go on live.com, there's literally 3 different links where you can click and watch on 3 different platforms and streaming services for free. So I think they have a long way to go in making it better as far as like how they do it, number of cameras and that kind of stuff. But they just have too much money to not figure this out.
Yeah.
And then again, the more players they get at some point, the PGA is going to have to, like, if you lose half of your top players.
Yeah, because like isn't the Open like a PGA event?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like all the guys from Live wouldn't even be able to play.
And
it,
Ron
so-
played every year. I mean, he's from here. He lives here. He went to ASU. Like, he's as Phoenix Open as it gets.
Yeah.
And, couldn't play. But, again, 600 million, you'll sit this one out.
I think it will combine. I mean, I think it'll make sense.
There'll be some sort of I think, combined. It might not be the whole thing, but there's probably going to be, the World Golf Series, which was 8 events, or 8 or 6, I don't know. It'll be something like that. Like they'll have PGA, they have Live, and they have like 6 or 8 combined where they, all compete, and those will be the ones that start to be the most interesting ones that everyone watches, and then you have the majors, and all of a sudden you have 10, 15 tournaments where you get them all together again, and everybody's happy.
Actually, you got any thoughts about that?
No, I agree, and obviously that's Patrick is the one to speak on that kind of stuff. No amateur talk here.
I mean, but you do golf though, right?
Yeah, I do. over the next few years here. So
like, why do you think it's like? I mean, of course they term it as Beverly Hills, but why has PV become that kind of that allure of that?
I think it's the most expensive area to live in. You get bigger lots, you get more privacy. I think those are like the things where everybody like instantly thinks of Beverly Hills. LA is huge, and then you have that little town of Beverly Hills. Also, Paradise Valley is a town. A lot of people think it's just an area, but it's a separate town. Separate town. Like it really is like Beverly Hills. Maybe on a smaller scale, but I think it's getting there to where you start seeing 20-30 million dollar price tags to become more normal, and that was really the biggest difference so far. And I think as the price keeps going up here, it's going to be more and more comparable.
Yeah.
And I think like Palm Beach or something would probably be the other comparable, right?
yeah. But then again, you look at Palm Beach, and we've been there several times. And as you know, I'm licensed in Florida too. I have a pretty good pulse on the market through my team there. I mean, Palm Beach is just like that level is just, for the most part, just on a whole nother level, right? Because now you have oceanfront properties, and I mean, we've seen lots trade for 20, 30, 40, 50 million. There's not even a house on it.
Stay on the real estate side here. So there's an article with AZ Big Media. They're saying that Arizona is actually one of the top states for both Gen Z and for just general out-of-state movers. Oh, I guess like why is Gen Z moving to Arizona? Like I'm trying to.
I mean, tech is big here. Yeah. I mean, the universities are big. It's a strong presence overall. I mean, it's not only ASU, it's GCU, it's UFA. So I think from that part, those stats too.
It's only 2022, so
yeah, looks very familiar. And then the rankings, you picture AZ Big Media, they're gonna have different stats than other sources, right? But I mean, overall, this shows that we're consistently in top 10 all throughout the board, and I guess that just supports the message that this is a good long-term market to be invested into and to do business.
Yeah, because I think one of the companies that was moved here, they're opening a big factory or warehouse, like a semiconductor.
Yeah,
like that's going to bring a lot.
It's
of
the
jobs.
biggest private construction project in the entire country.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
dang,
it's massive.
It's going to bring a lot of eyeballs to Arizona for sure. So this one is article also here saying Phoenix is saying the houses are flying off the listing, basically. Like there's a decrease in how long the house or properties would stay on the market. It's like flying off quicker.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk like.
Is the inventory back in Arizona? Is there more inventory now?
I mean, there's always you can snapshot a certain thing out of a market and use it. And in Germany, there's a saying: you only trust whatever statistics you put together yourself, right? Because I can pull 100 houses and make it look like they sit on the market. I can pull 100 houses that sell within the first 5 days. I can pull 100 houses that go over. Like these articles. There are obviously a lot of them. It's like clickbait. To like generally say this is what happens, right? So.
And Paradise Valley specifically, or the luxury market, is such a niche. So like Patrick said, gotta always be location and property and especially timing specific, right? Because there's a seasonality in the marketplace here. Right now we have selling season that goes all the way through end of April, May, and then in the summer typically due to crazy heat, things slow down a little bit. That's just normal.
And I know, Max, you were speaking as PV in general. Are you able to give us a sneak peek into what's happening here? There's a Phoenix Business Journal article about this new luxury community.
Yeah, they're gonna build 8 specs there. It looks like we know that location, we know that piece of land. We have been looking into that for the last couple of years. It was something that they initially had a hard time getting approved due to neighbors, easements, several other reasons. But now that's approved, and that again just shows, there's going to be new inventory coming. It's going to be all brand new builds, right? They're going to be pushing the prices, which, is good for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even know that there was this much land like this to buy in PV like this.
It's not. There's only like a couple left. There's one bigger piece on that's under contract right now. But there's not a lot. Yeah. That's why most of the projects we do are teardowns, because you just buy like old ranch homes. What we haven't seen a lot in PV yet, which I don't know if that's going to happen or not, is people like, actually Jason Kelsey did it, buying 3, 4, 5 properties next to each other, like quietly over the years. And then all of a sudden, like, oh no,
his own community.
Well, yeah, he's going to tear down all houses and build a big compound on I don't know, 7.5 acres now or something. But I think we might see that in PV, that people start buying, like 4 or 5 in a row, so they can
buying mega.
And then just or do like a new subdivision like this, put 5 brand new homes on there, but being able to put 5 new ones next to each other will always have higher value than just putting one in the middle of a couple of older homes.
Yeah. I mean, let's get to some questions. People have sent some questions. We asked people on Instagram to ask some questions. So this first one's a little of a funny one. I think it's for Max, I think.
I think so.
How many?
I know exactly who asked that question too.
I don't know if this is is it Masters or Mastros?
The Masters.
Oh, Masters.
The golf tours. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Like, you guys have been to the Masters before?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went in 2018.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. So I guess how many brownies can you eat from the? How many brownies from the Masters can you eat?
I think about 32.
32 in one sitting.
They're pretty good. Well, it was a whole day, but yeah, it was pretty
They're
good.
small. They're like, it's like
a
bite
credit
size.
card, like a credit card size.
Yeah, bite size.
But yeah, he had a lot.
Yeah, that's a very, very important question. I'm glad I answered it. I'm sure that added a ton of value for our viewers. Next.
I guess this is a general question. We can combine this, but I guess one of the people on Instagram asked, when did it click for you? And this can be both of you guys. I guess in a sense, when did it click? You wanted to guys maybe.
That's assuming that it has clicked already, right?
Yeah, I guess when did it click for you is the question. When did it click? Or is it ever going to click? Or,
when is it gonna click?
when is it going to click?
Yeah,
that's the question. I guess we don't have to answer, but it's up to you. You just wanna.
Yeah, I'll let Patrick answer.
I mean, I'm assuming by when did it click? Meaning when did we feel like we figured it out, got it going? I mean, I don't think there's a specific point in time, which I think honestly that is probably still in the future. To be honest, I don't think. I mean, it clicked as in we understand the market, we understand the business, we understand the deals. But those are like long projects, long relationships. So we're now getting to a point where people that we worked with years ago are comeback clients. Where, in the beginning it was so hard to get a listing or get a buyer, and now you get a random call on Tuesday morning like, hey, I want to sell my house. Can you come over? And it's a $7 million house. And so it's starting to that clicked. I would say that the being established in the market and that kind of stuff as far as our goals and what we want to achieve and how when we would actually, I think the two of us considered clicked. I think we're still quite a bit away from.
It's an ongoing process.
It's an ongoing process, and I think our goals and the bar that we set for ourselves and what we would say now finally that's how it's supposed to be. I think that we're still a couple of years out from getting
Plus
to that
it's
point.
gotta click a couple times, can't just like click once. That'll be way too easy and not sustainable,
It can't be a one-hit wonder.
Gotta keep it clicking.
Gotcha. Okay, next question is, how to get started in development?
Oh, we get that question a lot. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
2 words. Good luck.
I mean, it's such a loaded question. The way we started is we started with our own money. Granted, it wasn't that much, right? At the time, around, $100,000. So we started with our own money. Not sure if I would necessarily recommend that, especially in the situation that we were, because if we blew through that money, we're pretty much done. Like, it's a non-starter. So I think if you want to get started in development, I think that surrounding yourself with a good, capable team is the first step, right? Whether you are an agent or not, right? Make sure you have a good agent, designer, contractor, all the pieces to the puzzle that kind of have to click in order to get a deal going have to be in place. I wouldn't try to wing it the way we did it. Looking back, that was obviously extremely risky. So knowing what we know now, I think that having a good team in place and then having a source of capital and debt available to start the first project, and then not starting with a gigantic project right away. I think to start small is always a wise call. Not too small, right? Because we know if the deals are too small, there's the profit margins are pretty slim, and there's not a lot of room for error. So I guess that's the best I can answer this in a quick 1 minute answer. That's what I would recommend.
Patrick, you're more the developer.
Yeah, I think it's the chicken and the egg, right? What do you find first, the deal or the money, or like Max said, I think we kind of used everything we had plus a little bit of family and friends money to even piece together one small deal. I think looking back, it would have been a lot easier to do more education up front and then find good deals, because if you find good deals, there's always going to be somebody that will, fund the deal for you. Don't be too greedy in the beginning. There was a lot of deals in the beginning where we ended up giving 100% to the investors almost, just to like make sure that we're growing and we're building faster and faster. And I think just like Max said, have the right people around you, and then go look for deals, and then it'll kind of start to fall in place.
Start to click.
Yeah, click.
All right, next question here. Oh, whoa.
Skip.
There's a question, but someone asked us one question in Instagram. So
I don't even know what that means. Skip.
Skip. I think you know what that means.
All right, what's the biggest difference in how business flows between USA or US and Germany, if any?
I think the biggest difference for us is like there's no limit here. Like you can, blow up. I mean, both ways, granted, right? Like it goes both ways. There's no social, security net. Like it definitely is. Everything is a little bit, expedited, so to speak, both directions. But I think that's the biggest thing for us. I think everything we've done here, if we would have done the exact same in Germany, as far as what we build, we'd probably be at about 20% of that, just because everything, the bureaucracy, the taxes, the environment, the society, like everything around it, kind of like is more built to keep everybody in a certain range, right. Trying to make that gap not get too big. And here we feel like if you work 90 hours a week and you do that consistently, everybody starts to like try to help you, push you, make, open doors for you. And I think that's the opposite between the two countries. I think over there it's more like everybody's trying to stay in the same range, generally speaking.
Like there's a cap, you're saying?
There's a cap, or, if you start to get too successful, Germans tend to get quiet about it, right? Like all the people that actually really make good money, you'll never know. And then again, what's the point, right? So I think that's the biggest difference. Here, if you work hard, people push you, and you can really grow something really big, really quick. And that would be probably 10 times harder to do the same in Germany.
Max, you just echo that?
Absolutely agree. Nothing else to add.
Okay.
Maybe the only thing is the relationships that we have back home, family, friends, business partners, investors. Those are extremely solid relationships that last even when we're here. We're now starting to go over back more and more, whether it's speaking engagements and then increasing capital raising activities over there. But the strong connections there are very sustainable. It's not as easy and accessible as it is here to meet someone that's maybe successful, very famous, or in their designated space. But yeah, the bridge from the relationships and the culture over there to the opportunities and no limits here, that's kind of been our thing for the past years, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
There we go. Question is, other than typical features in a spec home, when does MIP enjoy spending the budget?
I feel like we're starting to get better at trying to go above what's typical on the spec house, right? Like I feel like we're trying to get there. We've seen it from other people. We see it in other states. We have that project in Florida where, when we do look at what's out there, what people do. I've always been to LA a few times to look at some stuff over there. It's just, I think we're and again, it's part of the process of building. That's why, I said earlier, I think to fully click, like where we see ourselves as a business, we're still not there. But I think we're known to maybe go overboard on pools. Like we do nicer, bigger pools. Always whoever's not Eddie.
Who's not Eddie?
It's me.
I don't think it's Eddie that asked it. Someone else asked on behalf of him. So
Eddie is never the better one at golf.
Well, Eddie Waters certainly not. But which Eddie are we talking about?
I think it might be Eddie.
I mean,
Lack.
Eddie Lack. I haven't played golf with him in a while, but I know he puts a lot of time in, and I know he has the same coach, and I know the rounds that he's been
Wait,
playing.
didn't you guys play last year? We were talking about we had him on with you, Isaac. Did that happen?
Yes, it
we
did.
actually a couple of weeks ago.
Wait, how'd that go? You, Eddie, and Isaac, and with you guys. No?
Who was it? No, we played against them, right?
Yeah, easy.
Yeah,
Easy.
yeah, we kicked their ass. But Eddie, I do have to give him credit. Eddie certainly has a very interesting Swedish swing with
Swedish hockey swing.
2 hip replacements. It all looks very special. But
like a Barkley kind of swing, like
no,
kind of. Like a
Barkley meets Jim Furyk. However, he's very efficient. I mean, I do have to say the guy plays very, very well.
solid.
So if I go head to head against him with no strokes, he will most likely win. However, we've never had that happen. So I'm down for it, Eddie. Let's go. Bring your wallet.
Bring your wallet. There we go. Speaking of bringing your wallet, someone asked, what's your top 3 favorite Rolexes?
Oh, that's a tough question. I don't know. I think
I guess you can say
That's a very loaded question. We don't have enough time to answer that.
What's the favorite one, or is there one that you have your eye on?
I mean, there's the holy grail that everybody wants, the rose gold rainbow Daytona. I mean, that's the end goal at some point. But
After that, it's definitely clicked. You have that thing in your house.
yeah.
I mean,
That's the end goal.
rose gold Daytona, Oyster Flex, presidential, all gold white face, and the Panda. Those are, I think, my top 3.
Oh, so you do know your top
Yeah.
3 favorite.
I mean, those are the ones I would love to have. But
I mean, it can be that too. It doesn't have to be the ones you already have. I guess someone asked, how do you hit that 60 draw?
That's gonna be Eddie.
God, can we ban Eddie from asking questions? Both Eddies, ideally.
Someone asked, I think convert this into
No,
English,
how about
but
you just talk a little German here?
Seid
ihr in Deutschland investiert oder only USA? So we got a bilingual here. So it's asking whether we We're invested in Germany or only in the US.
So, I guess
Only US. I mean, we looked at maybe doing it's same thing. We started one in Florida. I mean, is there a chance that one day we'll do something in Germany? Maybe it's not a goal. It's not on the to-do list. Could it happen? Sure, if the right deal pops up at some point, it makes sense. But yeah, obviously 99% US focus. Yeah.
Okay. No, I think I know who. I know who asked this, but I don't know if Max knows who asked this.
I do. Next.
I think same person asked this question too.
Mine is Nivea once every 2 days.
Wait,
So
what
that's
is it,
good.
Nivea?
Nivea.
Max, you have a script.
I don't. I
you
clearly.
have good genes.
I clearly don't have a skincare routine.
But you have. You got good genes. So you just wake up, wash your face, that's it. Go to
I
work.
just wake up like that. It's great.
You just got blessed like that.
I mean, the reason I don't want to answer this is because that adds like zero value here to everyone watching. It's not even funny. So let's do the next one.
All right. Are you still playing tennis?
Yes.
Someone asked. Still playing tennis?
Yes, I'm still playing tennis.
Okay. We'll leave it at that. All right. How do you process and deal with setbacks / failures?
Finally, a good question. I wonder who asked that.
Do we know? Doesn't matter. Did you ask it?
I mean, how do you deal with how do you process or deal with?
I don't know. I asked Patrick.
I mean, you can't avoid it, right? Like it's going to happen. It's the same as in sports. Like I always compare everything to sports. I mean, 49 is going to stop playing. No, they'll be back next year, and you kind of accept it. You analyze it. You try to prevent it in the future. Make sure that the damage is as little as possible, and then just learn from it. And but again, like the best athletes in the world, the best business people, there's always going to be something that doesn't go right, and I think it's part of becoming successful and being building something big. Is you got to keep swinging, you got to keep doing shit, and then it's if you do 10 things, one's going to fail and 2 or 3 are going to just do okay, and 2 or 3 are going to be home runs, and that's just how it is. So that's why it's important to just keep going and just bigger and better.
And I think you also got to accept that sometimes, and we've had that fairly recently, things are out of your control. That's just what it is. Sometimes life happens, whatever that may entail, and it's not your fault. You didn't really do anything wrong, but something still doesn't go the way you anticipated it to go, right? And analyzing this, saying, there's really nothing that we could have done, but the outcome is still unfortunate and didn't go our way. I think that, one, that needs to be accepted, and then 2, I feel like it depends on if it's one thing or if it's like a couple of things. Sometimes, how do you say that in English? When it in Germany we have a saying, it's like when it starts to rain, then it starts to pour.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that a thing here?
Like raining cats and dogs, or
No.
No,
What I'm
it's-
saying,
it's more like
sometimes it's like sometimes momentum can be in another direction. Again, not because you've done anything wrong, but
It just feels like it's all coming at the
it's
same time.
all coming at the same time, and I think that
like a fast train just
yeah,
zooming.
you just get hit by the bus and you get up and that bus just backs right into you. But at the same time, I think you got to accept that, and obviously there is a certain sense of disappointment for a moment, but I think that's when you really show how you handle these situations. And I personally, when stuff like that happens, I just want to go 10 times harder, because that's the only thing you can do anyways, right? But it almost gives you, after a little bit of a setback, it gives you extra motivation, right? So I think that's finally a good question, whoever asked that.
Okay, this is a little long question here. What motivates you? Are you competitive in business, like an athlete who's competitive in sports? And what drives you daily to work harder than everyone else? So it can be it's basically just one question. What keeps you going? What motivates you? And you guys are both athletes in a sense. So like what?
Yeah, I think the comparison to the athlete again, I mean, it's wins, right? Like it's closing a deal for a $500,000 investment, probably a $10 million house. To us, it's like one more done. We got one done again. Like it's that the money is part of it. Sure, there's because there's certain like material goals that you have, which you need the money to achieve those, right? That motivate you, that you want to get to. But on the other hand, for us, it's always like, okay, we close the deal. Like you want to get the next one done. And like Max said, sometimes they get a little difficult or hairy or whatever, and then you somehow figure it out and kind of get through it, and it feels like very rewarding, right? And it's not necessarily how much money you made on that deal. It's the fact that you got it done, that your clients are happy, you're happy. It's almost like weight falls off your shoulders, but then you're also like, all right, next one, right? Because it's like a drug, right? Like you just want to keep going, want to do it again, do it more often. And I think the one thing we always say that's huge in our case, and that's maybe the we said earlier, the German connection stuff. Like we've been doing this together for so long, and if there's two, it's a lot not easier, but it's a lot better to get through shit, because if one is like struggling a bit for a day, the other one will always be like, all right, time to power through, like now even more. And so we won't let each other slip for too long. Like sometimes you got to give somebody a day or two to get them reset, or let them be pissed about something, and then but it's always like the mix between the other partner pulling back in and yourself saying like, got to show up. Like it's can't be assault. I think that's huge to us. And again, there's other like monetary things that are motivation, and then which again, family and all that stuff is part of it. But to me, that's the same. Like if you want to be able to take your family on a nice vacation, it starts with making money in the first place.
There we go. Max, you want to add anything to that, or like what motivates you? What keeps you going?
No, I obviously I agree with everything that Patrick said. The most recent deal we closed yesterday was a referral from a good friend and business partner of ours. It was a very tough deal. We've had 3 contracts on it. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it was very tough between the 3 different contractual parties, the buyer and the seller. But the client has been so appreciative every step of the way, and it's a very high-profile client, very experienced in the financial space. Actually, 50+ years in the financial wealth management service. So, to get so much credit and appreciation from someone that is such a high-profile client was amazing. And before we closed the deal, we already had the next referral. The client never mentioned that he's going to refer us, but somebody reached out to me and then connected the dots. So we got the referral before the deal was even done.
Wow.
And I think that has no price tag. So, okay, what else?
Question here. How is personal health fitness important to you?
I think to both of us. I mean, Max obviously a little bit more crazy about it than me, but I think we're both of us, go to the gym, kind of what, keep an eye on what we eat and do. We're not big drinkers. Like we don't drink a lot. Like I think it's important to both of us.
Because it's hard to have energy when you're unhealthy. It's like, how do you work?
Yeah,
hours, right?
it's a mix of feeling good, being healthy, being able to have energy, being, I think it's mentally same thing. Like, because health is the only thing you can't buy, right? Like if you wanna be in shape, the only way to do it is by putting in the work. So it's just also a sign of somebody being, dedicated to something and then pulling through. So we enjoy it. I think it's important to both of us.
All right, let's get to the next question here. What's craziest real estate deal? If we got time for that, we don't have to get in this episode, but if you want to, we can get to this episode.
Honestly, I think we both have maybe a different one. Let's keep that question for the next one.
That's a longer one.
Yeah. Save it. A quick one here. What's your go-to restaurant in Scottsdale?
Panda Express, Chipotle,
Pomo,
Lure and Gainey, obviously Ocean 44, all the steakhouses we go fairly regular. Olive and Ivy, and Pomo is probably my top two. Love both of
Tropical
those places.
Smoothie Cafe,
Oh yes,
Indian school in Scottsdale.
hidden champion.
Hidden champion.
This is no
I don't know
advertisement.
if that meat is fresh, but it tastes good.
I guess what is the winning mentality? I want to end this and we'll do a quick little game and then get out of here. But what's a winning mentality for business and life? What's your mentality? Of course, we talk about hard work and all that, but like, what's when you wake up on a Monday morning? What's your mentality for the week?
It's kind of hard. I mean, technically, our mentality is always let's fucking go, right? I mean, we pretty much have been 24/7. That's a very accurate statement on that end, but I think accountability towards yourself. I've done some things there fairly recently that kind of helped me take all my stuff to the next level. But I think there has to be like a general drive and a somewhat very high standard that you hold yourself accountable to on what you want to achieve, on how you run your business, on how you nurture your relationship and service your clients. I think from there, which our benchmark is extremely high, I think from there that takes care of a lot, honestly. And Patrick and I, we're big on always doing the right things and taking best care of our clients and treating their transaction independently of a price point, rental, sale, as if this was our own. And I think from there, kind of the values and the drive kind of fuel you. And like I said, that's why I said the story of the referral. Right. I mean, that's why we do what we do. And I think we've gotten pretty good at it.
I just try to stay really busy. I feel like that always helps.
Oh yeah.
Like just if you have nothing to do, find something to do. Don't sit on the couch. Don't scroll through your phone. Like
there's always something to do.
There's always something. The busier you are, the less busy you feel. Like it's a constant. It keeps going. And then if something doesn't go right, it also doesn't bother you as much because you're already on to the next one. If something goes great, you're not like over celebrating this for. Just keep going. Like busy schedule. And again, if you have nothing to do, go somewhere. You can find something to do. I think that's big too. Just stay busy.
Sweet. Let's do a quick little game before we get out of here. Start, bench, cut. So you get the concept. Sports. Start guy, bench a guy, then you got to cut a guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So first, Steve Aoki, Tiesto, David Guetta. Who are you starting benching, cutting?
To start Aoki, bench Guetta, cut Tiesto.
Damn.
Kind of over like. Guetta's like old school. David Guetta is.
Yeah.
Weird pizza guys. Got to stick to David Guetta.
Max?
Are we doing the next one?
I mean,
no, do the same one. That's your topic. Those are your guys. Those are
those are my homies. Yeah.
I know, but you got to start bench. You got to cut. You got to pick one of them. There's tough choices. Just like in life, you made tough choices.
Start Aoki. I mean, sorry, David, but you're getting up there in age. You're on the bench, and then Tiesto cutter.
There we go. Let's do another quick one here. World Cup, Olympics, Super Bowl.
Start Super Bowl, bench World Cup, unless it's Germany in the final, and then definitely cut Olympics.
Oh, wow. Olympics. Okay. Max?
Start World Cup. I mean, obviously, I can't say cut Super Bowl. I could probably just take the next plane to Germany if I say that. So cut the Olympics. No, cut Super Bowl, bench Olympics.
Okay, let's do another one here. Shoes, watches, cars. Start, bench, cut.
That's a tough one. I would.
We plead the fifth.
Oh, that's a really tough one.
Yeah, pick one. Make it quick.
I think.
Shoes, watches, cars.
I think I would start the shoes just because you have the most. You change them all the time. Bench the watches and then cars. I don't know.
Cut.
cut the cars.
Oh
I don't
my
know why.
God,
I mean, you gotta
no.
cut something.
Listen, I'll be shoeless, but I got the best watch and the best car. So if that answers your question.
All right. Soccer one here. Messi, Erling Haaland, and Mbappe.
I'm not a huge Haaland fan, but he's obviously pretty much the GOAT right now. I would start Messi, bench Haaland, and I don't like Mbappe. I don't know. I just don't like him.
Start Ronaldo and bench and cut everybody else.
Good
I'll
option.
take that. Elon, Bezos, Bill Gates. Start bench cut.
Definitely cut Gates.
There we go.
I mean, probably start Elon and then bench Bezos.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Arm day, chest day, leg day.
I mean, I'm obviously cutting leg day every day, so I'm a big arm and chest day guy.
Mark is like starting arm day every day.
Listen,
I mean,
you'd be
it's-
surprised. I do so much legs outside of even of the tennis stuff. I have legs pretty much in every workout. I would love to cut it out, but
One more here before we get out of here. Steve Nash, Barkley, Booker. Some all-time Suns here.
Start Booker, obviously. I mean, I think Barkley's just funny. I like him, so I would bench him, keep him on the team, and then cut Nash.
Dang, cut Nash?
Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
yeah, I
Favorite?
agree with Patrick. Yeah.
Okay. Some restaurants here. Steak 44, Toca Madre, Cafe Monarch. Let's Google some top end restaurants here.
I start Steak 44. It's just a classic. Bench Toka. It's nice, but it's too crazy all the time. And then Cafe Monarch is too fancy for me. Cut.
Yeah, I agree. I was at Cafe Monarch once. It's an amazing place, but man, that takes forever. I got no
like a
no
whole
time for all
menu
this
and-
17 course menu, whatever they
It's
serve
very
there.
fancy.
All right, we'll do one last golf one here. Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, and Phil Mickelson.
I start Tiger, obviously.
Jack Nicklaus, yeah.
I mean, I would cut Jack Nicklaus not because he's not good. It's a different generation. Like I have no connection to him. You know, like he's obviously on paper the GOAT, but just seen Tiger and Phil the last 20 years. So those would be my.
Okay. Max?
Agreed.
Tiger, Phil, and Jack.
Yeah.
There we go. That's the game. Want to close this out, Max?
Well, thanks for joining today. No script, nothing. Surprised how this went. Actually, kind of cool. I liked it. So yeah, we're looking forward to having you guys on the next one. Super cool guest coming up on the next podcast.
Yeah.
We're recording next week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Comment who you guys want on the episodes in the comments. Let us know so we can book the guests.
Yeah, and maybe throw that out if you have someone that you think is interesting.
People that watch this podcast can, if they're people that we know, you can also comment in the comments. They want to come on.
Invite yourself. Invite yourself.
Invite yourself in the podcast. So,
Yeah, cool.
all right, it's a wrap.
All right, cool.